Hello and welcome to my Anatomy A3 assignment. To start off with, I'm going to label the respiratory system on Paris Games. And yeah, 100% achieved. And for the next bit, I'm going to label the heart structure again on Paris Games. Start. So yeah, again, 100% achieved. Labeling the heart structure. So my gold medalist is going to be Mo Farah, the Great Britain 5,000, 10,000 meter runner. In section 1, we'll be covering arteries, atrioles, capillaries, veins, and venules. Arteries. Arteries are blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. All arteries, apart from the pulmonary artery, carry oxygenated blood. The largest blood vessel is the aorta. As the arteries divide further and become smaller and smaller, they are atrioles. These atrioles continue to branch into smaller vessels called capillaries. These capillaries are one-cell thick. The structure of artery walls consists of 3 layers: the tunica adventitia, which is this outside layer here, the tunica media, which is in the middle bit, which contains the smooth muscle which is responsible for contracting the artery and pushing the blood forward, and then the tunica intima, which is the inside bit, which is the inner layer which is always in contact with the blood, and it consists of elastic membrane and smooth endothelial cells. The centre of the artery where the blood flows is called the lumen. The structure of an artery is that it is thick for its size, so it won't burst whilst blood is being pumped around the body. This would benefit Mo Farah because he needs oxygen in his muscles to provide them with the energy they need and to also break down lactic acid. Okay, moving on to atrioles. Now, atrioles are quite like arteries in terms of their properties. Both are strong, have a thick wall in order to withstand the pressure, and contain a lot of smooth muscle. Just like arteries, atrioles carry blood away from the body and due to the tissue of the body like muscles. Also, atrioles are important in blood pressure regulation because the smooth muscle found in their walls contracts to pump blood around the body. The atrioles are very important because they contribute to most of the overall blood pressure. Atrioles respond to a wide variety of chemical and electrical messages, and they constantly change in size or speed to speed up or slow down the blood flow. Again, atrioles have smooth muscle to pump the blood so the blood can get to the muscle, like I just said. And then also this will help Mo Farah because, like the arteries, he needs oxygen in his muscles to provide the energy and to break down that lactic acid. We're moving on to capillaries. Now, capillaries are the smallest of all blood vessels. They form the connection between the blood vessels and the arteries. When arteries branch out into atrioles, they continue to get smaller and reach muscles, where they become capillaries. Here the capillaries form a capillary bed, which is a vast network of small vessels in the muscle. However, unlike veins and arteries, their main function is not to carry blood, but they are specifically designed for gas exchange. Because they are only one cell thick, it means substances, mainly gases, can pass in and out of the cell. This is called diffusion. Also, nutrients diffuse into the muscle this way. The oxygen is carried in the red blood cells as oxyhemoglobin, and the oxygen dissociates from the hemoglobin and passes through the capillary wall into the muscle cells, where it is picked up by the myoglobin. The oxygen can now be used in aerobic metabolism to provide the muscle with energy. The capillaries are very thin, but are packed together. This provides a fast and efficient transport of oxygen. And so, yeah, capillaries are only one cell thick, which I just said. So this allows oxygen to easily be diffused into the muscles, and obviously Mo Farah needs oxygen in his muscles because it will provide his muscles with the energy he needs and break down any lactic acid so he'll be able to perform at a higher intensity for longer. Okay, moving on to veins. Now veins are blood vessels which carry deoxygenated blood, which means just blood without any oxygen in it, back to the heart, like shown by this diagram here on the right. The capillaries drain blood into the venules, which are small veins. As they return to the heart, they merge with the vein and then reach either the superior vena cava, if returning from tissues and organs above the heart, or the inferior vena cava, if returning from organs below the heart. The structure of veins is similar to that of the arteries, again consisting of 3 layers. The tunica eventia, this is a strong outer covering of the arteries and veins, which consists of connective tissue, collagen, and elastic fibers. Tunica media, this is the middle layer and consists of smooth muscles and elastic fibers. This layer is thinner in veins than it is in arteries, because it doesn't need that smooth muscle to push it background. Tunica, and then the tunica intima. This is the inner layer, which is direct contact with the blood flowing through the vein. It consists of smooth endothelial cells. The bit that the blood flows in is called the lumen, just like the artery. Veins contain a valve, which is shown in this picture here, and this prevents any backflow, so it stops any backflow and it stops the blood from clotting. Okay, so this side of things will benefit Mo Farah because it means that the deoxygenated blood can get back to the heart quicker without getting clotted. But then the heart can pump out oxygenated blood to the muscles that he needs, so he'll be able to work harder. Okay, so moving on to venules. Now, venules are a tiny blood vessel that transports blood back to the heart, just like veins. The blood in the venules is deoxygenated, meaning that it doesn't have any oxygen in it. The blood from the capillaries drains into the venules, which then merge into the veins and goes back to the heart. The main function of the venules is to get blood back from the capillaries to the heart via the veins, obviously. And obviously, venules will benefit Mo Farah because it means that deoxygenated blood will become oxygenated quicker, and then the oxygen can get back to the working muscles quicker, so able to provide them with energy, the muscles with energy, and then obviously break down any unwanted lactic acid. Okay, this is just the references done on this section. So we'll move on to section 2. Delivery of oxygen, nutrients, removal of waste, thermoregulation, and the role of the blood. Delivery of oxygen. Oxygen enters the lungs and is picked up by the hemoglobin in the blood. It is then carried by the pulmonary veins back to the heart, where it is pumped around the body and eventually enters the capillaries. In the capillaries, the diffusion of oxygen through the capillary walls can occur. The oxygen can now be used in cellular respiration. So that's how oxygen gets delivered. As for nutrients, when you swallow your food, it is eventually emptied to the stomach where a strong acid called hydrochloric acid breaks it down. After this, the broken down food enters the small intestine where chemicals, which get secreted from your gallbladder, pancreas and liver, are used to break down the food further. Now the food has been completely broken down, nutrients can be absorbed. The nutrients are taken up by cellular transporters across the intestinal cells where they are diffused into veins, and so they enter the blood. The veins take blood to the liver where it undergoes detoxifying processes, and then exits via the hepatic vein, and then enters the heart via the vena cava. Then the blood with the nutrients in gets pumped to the rest of your body through your aorta and arteries. Now, during the blood flowing around the body, nutrients will diffuse into any cells that need them the most. Now this would benefit Mo Farah because he can get oxygen to his muscles quickly so they can keep working, and obviously, like the arteries and capillaries, he needs oxygen to break down lactic acid to provide his muscles with energy, and again the nutrients will repair his muscles and repair them muscle fiber tears. Right, moving on. Removal of waste products. Your body removes waste products every day. The process of excretion involves finding and removing the waste product. The organs involved are the kidneys, lungs, and the skin. Waste gases are carried by the blood travelling through the veins of the lungs, where respiration takes place. Dead cells are removed from the body in sweat through the skin. Liquid is removed from the body through the kidneys. Kidneys are found beside the spine, in your back, with your ribcage. During circulation, blood passes through the kidneys in order to deposit used and unwanted water, minerals, and urea. Kidneys funnel urine into the bladder along two tubes called ureters. The bladder stores urination, then ultimately urination then gets rid of urine, so it gets rid of all like the bad stuff you don't want in your body. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Thermoregulation or homeostasis. Thermoregulation or homeostasis is a name for the body regulating its internal temperature. Our bodies keep a tight balance between heat gain and heat loss. We have to regulate our bodies because we need to maintain our internal temperature, which should be about 36.5 degrees to 36.7 degrees. Our core temperature is regulated by the hypothalamus, which is found in the brain. The hypothalamus responds to various temperature receptors located throughout the body. The body loses heat by sweating. Sweat on the surface of the skin gets evaporated, which then ultimately cools down the skin. Also, the body's blood vessels vasodilate. This means that the vessels get close to the skin so the heat can diffuse through the skin and then will obviously cool down. Now, the opposite of this is obviously when you get cold. When you're cold, your hairs on your body stand on end. They do this to trap any air. Then your body warms up the air, which then warms you up through radiation. This also vasoconstriction occurs, which means the blood capillaries, crease, and so heat isn't lost from the skin. Moving on to the next slide. Now, thermoregulation will help no fire because when using your eyes, then thermoregulation will prevent this body from overheating. This means you'll be able to work at a higher intensity. So, function of blood. Red blood cells are the most abundant cell in the body. The shape of a red blood cell is like a donut, so it has a greater surface area and can hold more oxygen. Red blood cells are made in the bone marrow. Production of blood is controlled by the erythropoietin, a hormone produced by the kidneys. Each red blood cell lasts approximately 120 days. Each red blood cell has a special protein called hemoglobin. This carries oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. White blood cells prevent infections. These account for 1% of the blood. They are also made in bone marrow. The blood cells must always be in constant white blood cells must always be in constant supply, because each one doesn't have a long life. There are two different types of white blood cells. One is called T lymphocytes. Now these attack the invading body and kill it. The other type is B lymphocytes. These produce antibodies, and antibodies kill the infections. The last substance in the blood is called platelets. Platelets help the blood clotting process by gathering at the site of an injury. This results in the formation of a clot, which covers the wound and prevents blood from leaking. This aids the healing process, and at the site of the wound is a scab. The scab will eventually fall off when the healing process has finished. And yeah, this function of blood helps with fire because obviously the red blood cells carry oxygen to his muscles, and he needs the oxygen to break down lactic acid, provide his muscles with energy. Okay, moving on. How is blood transported around the body? Blood is transported around the body through arteries and veins, which carry it from the heart and back to the heart vein. The heart then pumps the blood around the body through the arteries. This helps move fire because it means that you can get oxygen to the muscles